At the wrist, stepping over, driving my knee to the mat, look over that shoulder, big back step. So while we're in that side control position, when we want to start looking for submissions, we have to take it in that opportunity that the elbow starts getting far from our body. Now that can happen one of two ways. Option number one is we are responsible for splitting those frames, pinning the arms, separating the elbows from the body. The other way is when our opponent shoots an underhook, we can take the opportunity to clamp onto that wrist with our armpit and finish a modified paintbrush. So check this out. I'm in side control, chest to chest, right? My opponent has shot this underhook, but it's not a very strong underhook. It's a little bit of a looser one. I'm wrapping, I'm kind of bringing it back and making sure that I am trapping over my partner's wrist right here. I want to grab a grip on my lapel, okay? So this is a very unassuming grip. I can even start pulling my partner to their side or waiting for them to kind of start hipping out. As they turn to that side, what's going to be important is I'm stuffing that head to step over. I need to now take my hand and pass it in front, because as we start to take this angle, I don't want to allow those hips to follow me. So I have the isolation of his arm with this overhook at the wrist, and I'm controlling my own lapel. Now I'm going to take my free hand, that's going to be blocking his hip. So you see how as I drive my knee down behind his shoulder, I can start to backstep. What's important here, as I backstep, I want to be looking over my shoulder, keeping my elbow pinched tight. So as I rotate, that's when I can get the tap. We're effectively keeping this arm in that paintbrush position, and our upper body is going to be rotating that hand to help us finish that submission. So as we're in here, this is a sneaky one, so you don't want to just grab onto it and start wrenching on that wrist. That's going to send alarm bells on your opponent. You give them just enough to think that they're safe. They turn into their side, we're stuffing that head, stepping over, blocking that hip nice and tight, taking that big back step to help us finish. If our elbow comes out, that arm's going to slip out. So we want to make sure we keep it nice and tight. Let's check it out from another angle. So you can see Ian shoots his underhook right here, and I want to be able to wrap it with my elbow, making sure I have control of it with my elbow and my lat. As I pull him onto his side or he's turning in, I'm taking my step over and I'm blocking that hip right here. This is a very important detail to make sure that as I backstep, he cannot follow me. If this hand is off the mat, he can just walk, and I'm never able to put the tension on that arm. So we block that hip. With my elbow pinched nice and tight, I'm going to start to back step right here. As I look over my shoulder, it really helps me to finish. That's the finishing mechanic that we can get with that modified paintbrush. So one more time, from this side, shooting the underhook, we're controlling at the wrist, stepping over, driving my knee to the mat, look over that shoulder, big back step to finish.